Good morning from the Pickwick Dam in Tennessee. There's Gus 800, the beast. There's the Pickwick Dam over there. Beautiful blue skies, not a cloud anywhere. It's 48 degrees this morning. So I'm on my way to Mississippi. I've never been to Mississippi. Then I'm going to Arkansas. I've never been to Arkansas. Yesterday when I went through that deep water, the water was up to the guy's knees when he walked out there, which is below the bags. Kind of hit the side of my engine, and the front bearing got wet. I think that's not very good. But the stretch that was really deep was maybe 10 feet long. It kind of went down into that, leveled out, and then went up. So I wasn't in it very long, but I could feel the force of the water on the rear wheel. And when it hit here, it kind of splashed up and was pushing the bike this way. But like I said, it was only 10 feet, and I just hit the gas a little bit and got through it. All's well that ends well. So tonight's supposed to be the last night where it's really cold. And then for the rest of the week it's going to be in the 80s. High 70s, 80s. So today I'm going to try to get to West Helena, Arkansas, and grab a room for the night out there because there's a frost warning. The low is supposed to be like 34, and I'm not equipped to camp in that kind of weather. Not because I'm not too old, it's just I don't have all the right gear. I've been packing a little bit differently. I've got a lot more room. I can't figure out if I left something somewhere or I just packed it better. Guess we'll find out at some point. So that's it. I'm gonna set the camera up on the helmet, and we'll get some footage out in the dirt. And then when I cross the state lines, I'll do a woohoo state line. Problem is, when you cross the state lines in the woods, there's no signs. It doesn't say on this dirt track, welcome to Mississippi. Now maybe it will, but so far it hasn't happened. All right, I'll catch you later. On some kind of forest service road in Mississippi. It's a lot of cleared land. I just must have harvested recently. You know, a while ago I watched the movie Easy Rider again with Peter Fonda, David Crosby, and Jack Nicholson. And I finally got it, you know. I watched it when I was younger and I was just entertained by the parts where they were being cool. But I watched it again, and it was basically a whole different movie. And I'll tell you what I got out of it this time. See, these two guys, Fonda and Crosby, they facilitated a drug deal or something and made a good pot of money. I think they were in Arizona or California, Southern California. And they took their profit and they decided they were going to go to Florida and retire and live the easy life. I don't really know how that came into the story, why they were going to Florida. But anyway, that compelled them to drive across the southeastern U.S., which is what I'm doing. And if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna give you the ending right here, because this is what I'm thinking about as I'm riding through here, and then I'll tell you the message I get out of it. So the end of it, they basically are doing their, you know, bad guy motorcycle routine, trying to avoid any kind of trouble though, and just laying low. And they're in the Bible Belt down there. I guess it was Louisiana, maybe it was Mississippi, because they left New Orleans after they partied there for a while. Yeah, so it's probably Mississippi, which is what I'm thinking about as I'm riding. And they're driving down this backcountry road, and these two local fellers in a pickup truck come, and they got shotguns, of course, and they're joking with each other. And the guy in the passenger puts a shotgun out the window, and as they're passing David Crosby, the truck hits a bump. They're making fun of him, of course, but the truck hits a bump and the shotgun goes off and it takes him out. And Peter Fonda was, you know, further up the road, so he came back and he heard the gunshot, so he turned around and came back and found Crosby there, you know, bleeding out. And he tells him to just lay there, which he can't do anything else anyway, and he's going to go for help. So he's in a panic, he jumps on his motorcycle and he takes off down the road. And the two fellas in the pickup truck decide they want to stay out of trouble, so they come back and take a second shot at Peter Fonda, and his bike goes into pieces, and that's the end of the movie. But working up to that, like I said, they got to New Orleans and they partied with these girls. They did a lot of things people in the 70s did, and you know, we're being bad but trying to have a good time. And oh, sorry, hit neutral there, right in the middle of a freaking puddle. And then after they left New Orleans, they're talking as they're having a snack or something, and it dawns on Peter Fonda that they screwed up, you know, they messed up. Because there were a couple of middle-aged men trying to retire, and this is how they're doing it. So he looks at Crosby after they left New Orleans, and he says, you know, Crosby is telling him that they're going to get to Florida, everything's going to be great, they're going to have a good time, it'll be on Easy Street. And Fonda looks at him and says, you know, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure we've already completely screwed up. You know, I don't think we're going to be happy at all. And Crosby looks at him and says, what? Doesn't get it, right? Anyway, so that's like the two things that happened at the end. But before that, as they were leaving, let's call it Southern California, their first stop, they come across this family guy. He's got his own little farm, He's got a bunch of kids and a Catholic wife. And he invites them in for, you know, refreshments and work on their bikes in the barn, and then they have a country dinner, you know, on the picnic table. And it's all good. And the guy tells him, the guy looks at him after Fonda asked him a question of where he was from and how he got here and everything. The guy looks at him and he says, son, if you want real happiness, you find yourself a good woman like that, have yourself a family, and grab a piece of land. That's the key to happiness. And so they stayed there, slept there, and they got up in the morning and left. And then they ran into Jack Nicholson somewhere. And he was kind of a drifter. And they started doing bad things. But they were trying to avoid trouble. They were just trying to do their own things themselves, which a lot of people do, right? But it didn't work out. Anyway, when Fonda's looking at Crosby and says, no, I don't think so. We messed up. We fucked up. We're not going to be happy. And it's obvious he was referring back to the guy who had his family and the land and his own land, and was, you know, self-sufficient, surrounded by kids and a good wife. And they didn't have any of that. They were just drifters on a motorcycle. Going nowhere. So, anyway, I'm in Tennessee. I'm not a drifter. I'm just doing a Transamerica Trail ride to see the country. And Mississippi is beautiful, so please, fellers, don't shoot me. Welcome to Mississippi. It's quite nice, actually. I forgot to look for alligators. I'll bet there's alligators out there. Look at that. Look at that swamp out there. Look at the road. Oy. Oy. Oh well. I'm sure there's going to be more of that. Oops, did we go that way or this way? Looks like we crossed the river. Yeah. Oh, slimy, slippery. Oh, what the hell is this? Friggin' concrete. Oh, Shit, man, that stuff's nasty. Oh boy. Ay, ay, ay. It's a quick sound. It's quicksand. GoPro, stop recording. Yep, Mississippi. A lot of water, man. Back roads were just soaking wet. All those puddles everywhere. And then a lot of long roads like this. Look at all the acres out here. That's got to be 5 miles to that tree line. Right there. It's a lot of farmland. I don't see any crops growing. I don't see any crops growing at all. It's kind of fucked. Anyway, I stopped for a snack. Take a little break. Get some sunshine. I think I went too long without a break. Sorry. And once again, I haven't eaten lunch. I don't know, man, when I'm riding, I just get so much to not have to stop on. I just don't stop. There's nobody on the trails. I saw 3 other motorcycles in Oregon, in Georgia, like 4 days ago. There's nobody out here on these trails. And every time I talk to somebody about the Transamerica Trail, nobody's heard of it. I just was getting gas down at a little town in Mississippi here. And this guy pulls up in a little pickup with 2 young kids in there. He asked me where I'm from, where was I going, and I told him all about the Transamerica Trail. He never heard of it. We were actually right on it at the time. So he's got a motorcycle. He's gonna check it out. I think I'm going to have to do a video of the Transamerica Trail. How to get the tracks, where it goes from, what the tracks look like when they're on the GPS, and how you follow them. If one person sees it, maybe somebody will ride. If not, I have it in my video anyway. So I think it's about another hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to West Helena, Arkansas. If I get there early enough, I might just keep going. However, it is going to be cold tonight, so I have to find a place to stay. And I'm a little bit wet because of all the puddles. So 34 degrees and wet gear, camping is not going to happen. There's a casino there. There's a casino in West Helena. I might go check that out. All right. See you later. Hey, here we go. So today's ride, I left from Savannah, Tennessee. It was up about here. And finished up way over here, a little south of Little Rock in a town called Stuttgart. And what I did is I came down, finished the last Tennessee loop, and then came through the Mississippi loops. This is, there were a little bit of hills, but this was mostly flat. There was quite a bit of water, puddles from the rain, some streams flowing up pretty high. It's kind of a wet day, to be honest, again, but I think because the terrain was fairly flat, so most of the water was just puddles below, not deeper than the ankle. So I just took my time and motored through it, kept on going. Did a big slog. This is the Mississippi Delta, basically. This area over here, which is really flat, farmland, just hundreds of acres. You're just riding in the middle of hundreds of acres of farmland. Surprisingly, I don't know what the growing cycle is down here, but I would swear that less than a third of the acreage that I saw was planted at this point in time. Now maybe they plant later than we do up north, or different on completely different cycles. I don't know. I'm not a farmer, I'm just an engineer. Then I crossed the Mississippi River at the Isle of Capri Casino, over the bridge into Helena, Arkansas. And once I got over the bridge into Helena, there was a welcome center, Arkansas/Helena Welcome Center. So I stopped in there and talked to a really nice lady. She gave me a bunch of brochures for motorcycling in Arkansas, one for campgrounds, and I got a paper map of Arkansas and Oklahoma. So I'll be playing with those as we go forward. And then I took a little ride through Helena because the way she described some of the historical sites down there, they sounded pretty cool. So I took a ride through Helena. You'll see on the video how that went. Short story, I didn't want to stay in Helena. I had booked the Best Western in West Helena. However, it was the only decent looking building in Helena/West Helena. And I took a peek at Helena on, I Googled it, and basically It's the most dangerous city in Arkansas with a ton of crime. So I thought staying in the nicest building in that area might not be such a good idea. So I bailed. Instead of staying there, I rode another hour, took some highway roads out to about here, and got a hotel room in Stuttgart. Stuttgart is basically a company town. Company out here is Riceland. Riceland apparently does all the grain processing and loads it into rail cars, and there's a lot of railways and freight hauling by that method around here. The Mississippi River's over here, remember, in Helena. I guess what they used to do, because there's still some grain silos over there, is they used to take it down, or at least some of it, down to those grain silos and put it on ships and send it up the Mississippi. Maybe they still do. I don't know. I didn't see any of that when I was there. And I learned that this is the Mississippi Delta over here. But on the other side, with all these rivers, this is basically the Arkansas Delta. And it's all fertile floodplains from the Mississippi River. And a ton of farm. I mean, big farms. So it was pretty easy riding. I just blasted out there. It took me another 60 miles to get out there. It wasn't fun, but I felt better being out here. And then the next day turned into massive thunderstorms and lightning. So I spent the first night at the hotel and rained a little bit. And then I woke up and these thunderstorms were rolling through pretty much for the whole day. So I just extended my stay and set another night. And then tomorrow I'm going to hit the Arkansas Trail and probably take 2 days to go through the Ozarks, hopefully see some good sights and get to the Oklahoma border. All right, and I'll report back then. See ya. So I'm in Helena, Arkansas. This is going to be a little bit of a different video. Helena is right on the Mississippi River. And we're right now in River Park. Which is going to bring us right up to the old Mississippi. Right there. There's the Mississippi. Was the bridge I went over. There's a boardwalk down here and I'm just gonna go check it out. If it's not safe, I'm not gonna stop. You'll understand why I said that in a minute or two. We won't bother that guy down there. We'll just let the old boardwalk stay a boardwalk. Get away from the weirdness. And there's the mighty Mississippi. So now we're gonna go leave River Park and I guess I'm gonna drive through downtown Helena. The historic part, the part that they're most proud of. When I got off the highway, I stopped into the West Helena Welcome Center, and I talked to this lady, and she showed me all the historic spots to go and what to see and what to do. And then I have a little time because I was planning on staying in West Helena, so I took a ride through, and well, you can watch the video and you can make up your own mind. I'm just not sure I'm going to stay around here tonight. If you know what I'm saying. Historic downtown. I guess those buildings are boarded up with historic old boards. Jesus. The street signs are nice. Helena, I really like your street signs. Buster Brown shoes, look at that. Wow. This looks like freaking the Ukraine, for crying out loud. Those are the grain towers over there. I mean, it seems nice enough for the people here. If there are any people here. There's the famous Helena Church. Open air it is. Yes, sir. Come to Mass and get a tan. Man, they've got stop signs everywhere.